Hey there, cats and kittens. This is Dr. Donnelly, and I'm here to talk to you about complete sentences. I was so excited about complete sentences that I wrote complete sentences. That's actually a typo, but I am really excited about complete sentences. Here's why. Complete sentences are super important if we want to achieve the goal of writing. And the goal of writing, of all writing, is to communicate with your audience. Complete sentences communicate really well. They give the audience all the information that they need. Sentences that aren't complete, that are either sentence fragments, so they're not quite a sentence, they're incomplete sentences, don't give people enough information, don't give your readers enough information. Sentences that are run-ons, that jam together multiple sentences, give your reader too much information. And then they respond, TLDR, too long, didn't read. Complete sentences give your readers just the right amount of information, and therefore they do a much better job communicating with your reader, which is the overall goal of writing altogether. So today we're going to talk about what makes a sentence complete, and we're going to cover the two kind of ways that you can write sentences that are not complete. The incomplete sentence, or the sentence fragment, and the run-on sentence. So complete sentences, what are they? At their very core, complete sentences give us information by telling us about something that did something. In other words, they tell us an actor, and they tell us the action that that actor did. Another way of putting that is they give us a subject and then they give us a verb. Those are all the pieces you need for a complete sentence. A subject and a verb. An actor and an action. So you can write very simple sentences that are totally complete. One or two or three words long. Liam O'Flaherty wrote. Right? You could even write Liam wrote. That would even be simpler. O'Flaherty wrote. That would be shorter. But this is a complete sentence because it has a subject, an actor, Liam O'Flaherty, and it has a verb, an action, wrote. You can add all kinds of extra information to this, right? In addition to your subject and your verb, you can say what he wrote. We call that a direct object. You could say when he wrote, where he wrote. You could add all kinds of other things to embellish this sentence. But the long and short of it is that if you have a subject and a verb, you've got a complete sentence. So what makes a sentence incomplete? Well, let's take a look at a few examples. Why is this sentence incomplete? Yeah, think about it. Try to figure it out. Yeah, it's missing something. It's missing telling us who accidentally killed his brother. It's missing giving us the actor, the subject of the sentence. So, in order to fix this, we need to add the actor. Who did the killing? Even if it was accidental. This sentence tells us who did the killing. All right. Here's another sentence that's incomplete. The first sentence, right, is totally fine. It's got an actor, O'Flaherty. It's got a verb, mentions, an action. And then it's got some extra information. What exactly does he mention? But this second one, and reveals that he has seen death before, is incomplete. Right? You might say, hey, why do you consider this incomplete? It definitely tells us who did the action. It says right here that O'Flaherty did the action. Well, true. But that's not included in this sentence. That's kind of separately over here in its own sentence. So, in order to fix this, right, you can just combine them all into one sentence. That way, we'll know that O'Flaherty both mentions this and reveals this, right? So that will be a complete sentence, this and reveals now, because we've worked it into this previous sentence. So both of these examples show incomplete sentences happen when they are missing a subject. Absolutely. But this one, that's not the case. Why is this sentence incomplete? I'll give you a second to think about it. Yeah, this sentence tells us what the actor is. It's the phrase, tells us what the subject is, but it doesn't tell us what the phrase does. It doesn't tell us what role that phrase plays in the story. So how can we remedy that? Well, we need to add a verb, shows. And once we've added that verb, it makes sense to add all this extra information. The phrase bitten by remorse shows the regret the sniper feels. Absolutely. So incomplete sentences also happen when you're missing a verb, when your sentence doesn't have a verb or a verb phrase to say what the actor did. Now, there's a third kind of incomplete sentence that has a subject, it has a verb, but it just doesn't sound right. Here's an example. This doesn't sound right to you, does it? Why doesn't it sound right? Although the Republican sniper is enchanted by war at the beginning of the story. Well, usually when you say although this, you say that, right? Although I don't like Mondays, I do like Tuesdays, right? You have to say what you do like. Although it was rainy outside, it was still warm, right? You have to make a comparison. This sentence doesn't give us that. It's although compared to what? So to fix this, you've got two options. Take a second to think of what they are. Here they are. You can get rid of the although, right, and just leave it off altogether. Or you can give me the although compared to what? Although this is the case at the beginning of the story, this is the case at the end of the story, right? So it gives me the although compared to what. So this is the third kind of incomplete sentence. It happens when you've added what we call a subordinating conjunction to your sentence. And that makes it a dependent clause rather than an independent clause. So those are the three big types of incomplete sentences. Now the other thing that can get in trouble and keep us from our complete sentences. The eternal scourge, the run-on, okay? And you guys know that you've had run-ons highlighted on your papers before. So what is a run-on? Well, a run-on is essentially when you put together two sentences that are both complete sentences and you don't join them up in any way. So I'm going to give you an example right here. Why is this sentence a run-on? Well, this sentence is a run-on because you have actually two complete sentences and you've joined them up with a comma. Now you can't do that. You can't join them up with a comma. You can't join them up with nothing. If they're each their own complete sentence, you cannot join them in that way. There are a couple things that you can do. The first is the most obvious. You just make them two separate sentences. The second is a little bit trickier, but it's still not that tricky. You add some sort of conjunction to combine the two sentences together. So a conjunction like and or because, right? So you can divide them into two sentences. The Free State Sniper sees the match. Or you can use a conjunction to connect them, right? The story starts off with a Republican sniper lighting a cigarette. Then the Free State Sniper sees the match. So run-ons happen when you put two complete sentences next to each other with just a conjunct, without a conjunction, with just a